Yes.
Just want to speak, haven't had a chance to talk to you.
Hey,
Anything I need to know?
I don't know if you want to say anything about this. And is it good?
Yeah, I just spoke to you.
Yeah, just a second.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are unfamiliar, what we do is 5 minutes early so the folks who are at home can log on, check their sound, and get their coffee and put their feet up. We have John Shepard playing some piano for you. So, John, you have the floor.
Good morning. Will you join me as we light the chalice? Your words are in the order of service. Let's see. We light this beacon of hope,
Sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in the celebration of the life we share together.
As the chalice is lit, use this time to quiet your heart, quiet your soul and spirit as we prepare for our worship. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. We're so happy to see you all here this morning. My name is Lynn Nordenberg, and I'm a member of the worship committee. Before we begin with the announcements, I would like to recognize our first or second time visitors. So if you are seated in this section, would you please stand and give us your name and tell us where you're from? Anybody over here?
Yeah, I'm Bonnie Costello. It's my second time here, and I really like it.
Welcome, Bonnie. Yes.
Libby Aragon, Leon Aragon. We live here. This is our
Wonderful. Welcome. How about in the center section? Do we have any first or second time visitors? Okay. How about over here?
Yay.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Chloe. I'm Janine, and this is my son Charlie. We live here in Bluffton, and this is our first time. We came years ago and got caught up in little people and life, and we're happy to be back.
Wonderful.
My name is Caitlin. This is Reed. This is our second time, and this is my daughter Josie, and this is her first time. She's about to turn 17. He's 11, and we live here in Bluffton, and that's us.
Welcome.
This is Connie and Penny.
And I'm Denise, this is my daughter and my granddaughter.
We all live together, and it's our first time.
Thank you. What I want to say to you newcomers is that there are yellow pieces of paper in the pocket of some of the chairs. And if you would like to be on our email list, then please fill out a card, and there's a nice yellow box back where you got your name tags. You can stick it in that after the service. Thank you. Okay, announcements. Music on Malfris next Saturday, December 7th, 2 Saturdays away. Laura Perskovich is going to be performing, and I think it's going to be a wonderful concert, so please come. Our holiday dinner will be Wednesday, December 11th at 5:30. There are 2 different times in this year's newsletter. We're going to go with the 5:30 time. There's a sign-up sheet out in the vestibule. If you would sign up, and we're going to have a potluck, so everybody brings a dish that's a favorite holiday dish that you make. And the charge is $10 at the door, but there's no charge for children. Small group dinners. This is the last day to sign up for our small group dinner, so there are sign-up sheets also in the vestibule. We will not have a movie night in December. People are just too busy and just getting back from Thanksgiving, so we're going to wait until the first Wednesday in January. Okay. The CARE Committee will meet today immediately following the service in the Clara Barton Room. It will be a brief meeting, and it should not interfere with you coming to the talk back. Last, we got a letter from Lauren Smith thanking us for the special offering that we took to help the victims of the Hurricane Helene. And she said, among other things, she said, what a wonderful expression of support for people and communities impacted by recent disasters. Thank you so much. Now, Charlie will give us our opening words.
Thank you, Lynn. One thing I want to do is sort of an announcement and an opening word is Diane Barber, who just recently signed our book, has got her gold tag here. And Diane, if you would come up front, here you are. Thank you. Diane said, don't make me talk. So as I was telling her as she was coming in that her badge had arrived, she said, I don't have to say anything, do I? I know that fear. So let me take these opening words in a kind of instructive sort of way. First of all, last week, those of you that were here, you heard one of our other ministers, Dick Hood, ask a favor of you. During the Joys and Concerns, if you would share only those family concerns and personal issues with you. There still is probably a number of us that have some thoughts that we want to express about our current electoral issues. There will be time during our talkback for you to continue to do that. So budget that time for that, if you will. And the other thing is, you know you're in a Unitarian congregation when the pastor asks you to turn on your device, because I'm going to ask you to do a search later on in my message. So just kind of keep it on and ready, and if you would please, of course, silence it while it happens to be there. But we'll be talking about that in a little bit. So if you would please take your hymnals in your hands. Turn with me, if you will, to hymn number 349. And may we stand and sing together and gather together. Thank you.
This is the time in our service that we do two things. We support very worthy charities in our area, Bluffton Self-Help and Sandalwood Food Pantry. So if you've brought anything, please leave it in the back of the sanctuary on that table there. They appreciate anything that we give to them to provide for those who are very much in need. The second thing that we do at this time is collect our resources from you so that we can keep this organization moving along. And you have to remember it's almost tax time, so if you want to make generous contributions, which are totally tax deductible, we'll take any of those monies and you can argue them with your accountant. So we'll take the offering now. Please let the basket pass. I forget that every time. If you're a first-time visitor, we'll get you later. generosity.
Now is the time to share with the community our joys and concerns. Personal. No political statements or announcements at this time. Thank you. Come forward, take a stone from the basket, identify yourself, I'm Cheryl, and share your joy or concern with us, and then place your stone back, well, not back in the basket, but in the cairn. If you do it wrong, we'll point it out. Come forward, please.
He keeps me upright. I'm Betsy with a concern from the care committee. The Bartholomew's are having a really tough time right now. Mike has leukemia and has been going for cancer treatments, and they've just been really tough on him. But he's determined. He's determined to have them and to get through them, and so we're thinking about them. Keep them in your hearts.
Now I can stand up straight. Hi, my name is Gary. I have a concern and a sadness. Music, especially live music, is a big part of my life, and I enjoy it so much. Sharon, my wife, enjoys it so much. We actually came upon this congregation by first coming to a music on Malfrist event that was phenomenal, and started to meet people, and we got roped into coming here. After that, and this is like a second home. And I'm concerned because the showings at the Music on Malfrist events have been poor. Not a lot of people are coming. It's a shame. Joanne puts her heart and soul into getting these events together and these performers to come. And I'm kind of concerned, how long can this really support the performers who they're coming here to make some money and share their music? So I'm very concerned, and I'm really sad because it is also a way that we contribute to this community and this congregation, and I honestly do not see very many UU people showing up. That is my concern and my sadness.
What'd you do to your arm? We all want to know.
I had elbow surgery.
Oh.
Next question.
If there are no more joys or concerns, I will take 2 stones and place them in the cairn to represent those joys or concerns that remain in your hearts. And I will also take stones to represent or to keep in mind those students who have been affected by gun violence in their schools. We want to keep them in our heads and in our hearts. And now we'll read together the affirmation. And since it's short, let's try to read this responsively. You'll read the italicized parts. Find it? Number 470. We affirm the unfailing renewal of life, rising from the earth and reaching the sun, all living creatures shall fulfill themselves. We affirm the steady growth of human companionship,
rising from ancient graves and reaching the stars. People the world over should raise an understanding.
We affirm a continuing hope,
That out of every tragedy, the spirit of individuals shall rise to build a better world.
and that's our hope.
So if I can take a personal privilege for a moment, I know that George did not accurately announce that if you're a guest or visitor that you do not have to make a contribution. And so if you did, you may come up here after the service and take it back. So just make sure we're good. You okay with that, George? So the theme for this month has, and I am picking up on, the sense of repair, of finding how it is that we might go through the process of repairing portions of our lives one at a time. Repair in this way, emotional, spiritual, physical, can't happen like that. But we can begin to address it. I thought it was prescient that the organization that we apply to, Soul Matters, chose repair as a theme this month. I don't know what they saw coming. Kind of makes me nervous about them. But nonetheless, they spoke rightly into our situation and to where we are, both on a political, national scale, as well as inside our own hearts. And so I'll be painting with a big roller brush today to try and offer us some of those things that I think might be helpful and might be able to make a difference in our lives, some small difference, and that you might be able to take it home, talk it over with someone that you love, find ways that you might be able to make it applicable into your own lives. And so I want to start by sharing with you the words of Maureen Killeran. She's a minister in our denomination, and she writes this: "Welcome, you who come in need of healing. You who are confused, have been betrayed. Instead of answers, here you may find safety for your questions. Instead of promises, you may find community for your struggles." That resonates inside me because that resonates inside this congregation and who we are as a denomination. Because it really does focus on the need for healing. Most of us in this particular time are thinking on a national basis, but I also would like to make sure that you know that as we speak about healing and repair, that there is a repair and a healing for your own immediate, intimate losses, grief, grieving of those who loved you and you loved them who have stepped ahead, and to heal the bodies and to find healing for an absence of meaningful work and purpose in our lives. Every one of those that I've just named are things of which we need to be able to approach and to acknowledge that we need to find repair and healing in each of them. It may take years, but we will find our way there. And I think Reverend Killeran has her finger on the pulse of this congregation and many other congregations around our country. Many of us feel a sharp need of healing. Many of us are confused Many of us may feel betrayed, either by our system, betrayed by our expectations, or betrayed by our hope. Personally, that one is important to me. The betrayal of the hope that I had in my heart that can't be there at this moment. So I find myself requesting healing and reparation in that way. This betrayal is something I have sensed since Wednesday morning. Speaking of Wednesday, many of us gathered here in the sanctuary to use this as sanctuary. I had opened up the building. I know others were here too, to make this an easy time to gather together in spite of its painfulness. And we had 45 or more people sitting in a corner, sitting in a circle, just really expressing themselves. Beginning that process of healing from our own words, depending on where you're coming from, that was where we were mostly coming from. To begin that process of healing for that we felt like is a catastrophic event in our lives. And so that was a time that we began, and we wept on each other's shoulders, and we held each other close, and we asked hard questions that have no answers, and we cared for each other in this sanctuary. I haven't talked with all 45 of you that were there a week ago Wednesday, but I have talked with many of you who have simply said thank you. I don't know how it worked, but I feel just a little bit better. And that's when we begin to repair, and that's when we begin to heal, when we care for each other, when we take care of each other. And I hope that we are able to continue to find ways that we can make that happen. Because many of us, as we gather here in the sanctuary, we use this place as sanctuary. Sanctuary in the old sense, that this is a sacred place where you could find safety in a sacred place. Some of you may know that in the Middle Ages, if you were an individual who had been accused of some crime, if you could make your way to a church and declare sanctuary, you were safe there for a time until you might be able to find an escape route out of the country. So as I was thinking about this and preparing for this particular message, I remembered Victor Hugo's Quasimodo, as he had that character saving Esmeralda as he climbs the Notre Dame pinnacle, calling, sanctuary, sanctuary, sanctuary. And that's what we do here, and need to do even more here. Where we find ourselves needing sanctuary, a safe, sacred place that we might find hope. That sanctuary does not need to have 4 walls and a ceiling. It can have 4 hearts and a dinner. It can have a time together to just drink a cup of coffee and to be able to talk without judgment or without concern. Because that's where the healing comes from in our own lives. That's where we find ourselves in this journey together. Perhaps this scene in history is enormously significant in your own lives. Because Wednesday morning, I could almost hear our inner Quasimodo calling for safety, calling for community, calling for sanctuary, as we gathered both to mourn and to sit in our sorrow. Some of you know that I have another life outside of this place, which is the hospice chaplain for hospice care at the Low Country. And part of my responsibility is to meet with members of our own community who have had loss. And we meet together once a week, and we just talk. We just express ourselves for what it is that we're going through, whether short or long. We spend time in that. And I have learned, as some of you have heard me say, I have learned a tremendous amount of lessons from the life of catastrophe that many of our people have suffered. Some of you are here right now, know exactly what I'm talking about. And we build that safe space where they can express their emotions, where I can just simply ask questions and begin to take the journey to healing, to repair. And it happens. And it happens. The question that I asked myself now as I was doing the introductions for this is that how do we practice repair? What do we do to possibly make repair, make healing happen just a little bit? In the article titled Being Sanctuary, the Reverend Von Rue and Lynette Lowe write these words. They say, we come together today as individuals, much like individual pieces of glass or pottery that are different shapes, sizes, and colors, all of which are broken. All of which are broken. And the imperfect, jagged edges are always there, but beautiful. I'm going to ask you to take out your phones now, and also, if you would please, you may know this word, but if you don't, this will be, I think, an exciting exercise for you. I'm going to ask you to find or do a search for this word, K-I-N-T-S-U-G-I. K-I-N-T-S-U-G-I. Kintsugi. Some of you have seen this before, but I think you'll be amazed at what you see in just a moment. When you do a search for this, Kintsugi is the Japanese art of fixing broken things. How powerful is that thought right now? In the way in which it's fixed, is everybody there? Okay? Yeah, that's my problem. K-I-N-T-S-U-G-I. This way of fixing broken things is astounding to me. I love to look at these pictures because within the Japanese mindset, the Oriental mindset, nothing is ever truly broken. That's the philosophy behind that ancient Japanese art, which repairs smashed pottery by using beautiful seams of gold. When I pick up a pot, when I look at a pot like that that's been repaired, the first thing I see, you may see it too, is the gold. Where the crack is, where the brokenness is. That's what you're drawn to first. In our brokenness, we want to hide it. Don't look at my broken places. I've got to cover up my broken places. But in this art form, it's the broken places that are what? The most beautiful. That's a part of allowing healing to happen inside yourself, to allow repair to begin to happen inside yourself. And in your interaction with others whom you know are also broken, is to point out the gold that's in their lives. Because that's the way we build each other up, and that's the way we move each other on. The images you see will all have been broken, and you begin to see what is the most beautiful part of it. The paradox is the pottery is now even more beautiful broken than when it was whole. Can I let that sentence just sit on you for a moment? The brokenness, the broken pottery, is now more beautiful than when it was whole. I'm looking at brokenness now. And I know that there is a deeper beauty coming here as we begin to heal ourselves, as we assist each other in our own healing. That imagery is so much what I watch happen when we gather together as community. Wednesday, after the election, when we gathered here, we began the process of fitting our broken edges into broken places. We come with our inner bag of broken pieces and help each other reconnect our pieces through valuable material. It's not gold that we use here in this community. It's more valuable. We use the gold of acceptance. We use the gold of safety and the gold of community to draw our broken hearts together, do we not? My prayer for this community is that we begin to find that more deeply, find that more succinctly, and find that more richly in our own lives. Because in that melding together of our broken pieces, using the valuable material that is us, makes us whole again and even more beautiful. That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So hold on to that thought and share that with your own heart and with your own mind. And while we might not be able to see it now, I fully believe, that we will be able to see each other as beautiful, repaired people ready to figure out what we do next in our society and in our community and in the chairs in which we sit. That's what I see, and I firmly believe, I'm absolutely convinced, that will be a part of the journey that this congregation takes and you people take together. We take together. I firmly believe that. A second insight to how we'll go about the process of repair comes from the Jewish traditional teaching of Tikkun Olam. I've talked about this before, but in Tikkun Olam there is a legend that when God created the world, there was this bright light, and there was an accident in that light, and it shattered and broke. And little bits of that light fell into every living thing. And the task now of the human race is to help find the light that's in each other. Take the process of moving through in your own lives to find the light inside your own hearts and the light inside of those who are around you. That's exactly the way that we begin the process of finding the light in every living thing. Raymond writes, Rachel Naomi Raymond, if you're not familiar with her, I'd encourage you to find her and listen to some of her TED Talks. But Rachel Naomi Raymond, R-E-M-E-N, says this: "Now, according to my grandfather, the whole human race is a response to this accident. We are here because we were born with the capacity to find the hidden light in all events, all people, to lift up and make it visible." Let me say that again. According to her grandfather, the whole human race is a response to this accident. We are here because, by the way, anytime a sentence starts with "we are here because," pay attention. At least I do. We are here because we are born with the capacity to find the hidden light in all events, in all people, and to lift it up and make it visible once again, and thereby to restore the innate wholeness of the world. And of course, that message and that journey is very important to our times. She talks about the fact that we don't have to heal the whole world. Just look for the light in the world that's closest to us. That's closest to us. That's closest to us. Feel the soul beside you. Feel the souls behind you, in front of you. When you stand in line at Publix, or you stand in line at Walmart, or you stand in line around other people, is there a thought inside of you that says, "Wow, there's light here. I wonder if I can find it"? You see, that's a part of where we begin to use Tikkun Olam, is to repair the world that we're closest to, and to fix that, to offer the hope for fixing that which is broken. And I ask you to sit silently and to think on these things. So there is a moment of terror in every preacher's life when page 4 disappears. Alas. So there is another thought that I want to bring to you, and that's from the writer Rosemary Watola Tromer, T-R-O-M-M-E-R. And she writes about the death of her son, 16 suicide. And she begins to share with others about her own experiences, about what it meant to have people come close to her and let her be who she was in that moment. One person who she was very close to She writes about her and says, she taught me to light a candle and promise not to blow it out, not even after the conversation is done. She taught me the solace of offering no wisdom, seeking, asking no questions. She gave me the gift of myself and met me there. That's repair, and that's healing. Most of the time, because we're humans, we want to fix that pain that's in front of us. We see the heartache, especially the sorrow of something that is impossibly tragic, as this woman's journey with her son. And yet there is that hope that she speaks about with those who get it. When we can allow the pain to be there to sit with that pain without trying to fix that pain, then the paradox is we've begun the process of healing that pain. I want you to know that as a community, this community right here. Because in that skill, you then acquire that which will change lives, heal lives, hope lives. And so I'm going to ask you to do something for a moment right now, if you would, sitting in silence. I'm going to ask that you sit for 60 seconds quietly and to begin thinking of a name or names of individuals who you know need healing, who you know need peace, who you know need repair. I'm going to set 60 seconds on my phone, and when it goes off, we will have finished that. There's my phone. I only go back to the house 3 times every morning to get it. That's where I'll find it, absolutely. Thank you. So I have this set for 60 seconds, and I'm going to push go, close your eyes, and sit in silence for just a moment. So for those of you who are not meditators, that 60 seconds felt like 2 days. But that's a part of what we need to learn to do, is have that skill to sit silently, even with someone who is brokenhearted, and let them be brokenhearted in front of you. I'm going to ask as we go from here in a short while that you, if the names that you held to your heart, either the name or the names, if they're here, speak to them. And as you're passing through the lobby and getting your coffee and fun stuff that's there, just go over to them and say, it was your name. It was you. That's who I was thinking about. Tell them. And if they're not here, call them when you get home and tell them. Because that's the way that we form community. That's the way we find sanctuary. That's the way we find our hope in our repair. Thank you for giving me your attention this morning. May we continue to draw our hearts together. please now take your hymnals in your hands, turn with me, if you will, to hymn number 123. May we stand and sing together.
I want to thank the people who made this service possible, particularly Charlie, who encourages us, comforts us, and challenges us at the same time. Thank you. And John for the beautiful music, for all the people who helped with the child care, Sunday school, greeting. I also want to tell you that after the service, get yourself a cup of coffee. And for the new people, we have a talk back. We come back and meet in here in about 15 minutes or so, and then we share what's in our hearts. And we can ask Charlie questions about anything he had to say. And it's a wonderful way to get to know one another. I want to end by reading this that was published by the UU. Instructions on Living in a Broken World. Lean into community, seek out love, applaud the good you see, keep paying attention and talk to your neighbors. Dance to the music and embrace art. Look for love in small joys. Take breaks and relish nourishing your body. Donate what you can. Linger at the dinner table with friends. Check in with your people. Let yourself grieve. Love one another as deeply as you can. The storm is upon us, and we must hold on. Don't give up. We're in it together.
Thank you, Lynn. So, practice repair. Bless generously. Curse rarely. Practice repair. Read a book or a blog or watch a movie about something or some situation or someone beyond the ability to relate. Practice repair. Lean into comfort zones, strengths, and inklings of bliss. Practice repair. Pause to ask whether words are both skillful and absolutely necessary. Practice repair. Sing full-throated songs that create and recreate beloved communities. Practice repair. Let go of stubborn self-righteousness and have mercy. Practice repair. Honor the ancestors who could not have imagined our lives or even our very being. Practice repair. Multiply joy, divide sorrow. Practice repair. With the tools at hand, practice repair. Perhaps I have tools you could borrow. Perhaps you could lend me from yours. And together we can practice repair. Amen. Thank you.
Please join me as we extinguish the chalice. The words are in your order of service. While we extinguish this flame,
We will carry in our hearts the light of truth